Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Ridge Hunter Outdoors podcast. This one is number 75. This week we got to talk to a couple of local guys from Not Your Mother's Outdoor channel, Shawn Harrington and Phillip Heinz. They talked about their outdoor channel. It's a new channel. They just started it last fall, Not Your Mother's Outdoor channel on YouTube. And what they're trying to do is kind of be more of an everyman's outdoor show. So they're trying to show a little bit of everything. All the stuff that you don't see on the big produced shows, they're kind of trying to go at it from more of that angle. And they talked about that on the podcast. We had a good time talking with them. We actually met them up at the Iowa Deer Classic, and of all places, they're from Effingham. So we met them 7 hours from home, and come to find out, they're really just right up the road from us. So that was pretty cool. We were glad to have them in. They're just starting out, so you guys should go check them out, give them some support. I'll link all their stuff in the description, that their YouTube channel, their Facebook page, and all that good stuff. So you can go check them out at all those links, and then stay tuned for the rest of the episode and really hear what they're all about and listen to them talk about what they got going on. But before we get into that, if you guys want to support the podcast, don't forget about our partners, one of those being Rodney Hawkins. We had him on a few episodes ago, and he talked about what he's got going on with Midwest Farm and Land and RHO Outdoors. If you missed that, you should go back and check it out. But either way, like I said, he is a land specialist with Midwest Farm and Land. And if you guys don't know a lot about them, they're not really your average real estate company. Last year, they sold over $85 million worth of ground. They've got agents like Rodney all over Illinois. They're really a local company with a national reach. For more information on them, any ground that might be available, selling your property, or just kind of getting a feel for the market, you can contact Rodney directly at 618-925-3153, and he'll get you taken care of, answer any questions you might have. He's also recently started the RHO Outdoors company that I mentioned. They've got hard and soft-sided blinds and blind chairs from Radix Blinds. They've got a all-natural scent elimination product called Camo Dust. They've got Byrna self-defense weapons now. They've got Tacticam trail cameras, and Rodney's all the time working on getting new products out at RHO Outdoors. If you want to keep up with them and anything new they might have coming out, or check out what they do have right now, you can look at their Facebook page at RHO Outdoors. You can email them at rhoutdoors@yahoo.com, or again, call Rodney directly at 618-925-3153. Our other partner is Grandpa Ray Outdoors. They specialize in providing the best nutrition for white-tailed deer on your property, starting with the soil. They've got a full line of high-quality food plot seeds and plant foods. Grandpa Ray Outdoors was started in 2015, but John has been in the seed and nutrition business since 1991. With over 14 different food plot blends to choose from, you're not going to have any trouble finding what you're looking for, whether that be fall blends, spring blends, corn and beans, switchgrass, liquid fertilizer, soil test kits, you name it, they've got it. They're not just about selling their products, though. They're not about a fancy label or package. They're about good quality seed and taking care of their clients. They're going to answer any questions you have about what blends would be best for your specific property. That way you're going to get the best results possible. Like us, John and his team don't believe in a cookie-cutter approach to wildlife nutrition. He's going to treat you and your situation individually. We've used their seed on client properties, used it on our own properties. I don't know how many tons of their seed that we've put in the ground, but it's always been as good or better than advertised. That's why we started partnering with them in the first place, and that's why we're going to continue to do that. Go check them out at grandparayOutdoors.com and use the discount code RHO Podcast. That's all lowercase, and you'll get 5% off your order. That's also a way you guys can support us while getting some of the best food plot seed on the market, in our opinion. Other ways you guys can support, go follow us on social media, Ridge Hunter Outdoors on Facebook and Instagram. Those are the two that we use most often. We also have a Facebook group now for the podcast listeners. That's RHO Podcast Patrons. So go join that. You got to answer a couple questions, and we'll let you in. And you'll get some exclusive content on there. A lot of times I'll let you know if we're having a guest on, who it's going to be, and open it up if you want to ask them any questions. Might ask you guys some questions for Q&A episodes as well. All that kind of stuff. Make sure you join the group. It's really just kind of your normal outdoor hunting group with more of a focus on what we got going on the podcast. That way you guys can keep up with that a little more. You can also go to Ridgehunteroutdoors.com. That's our website. Anything you see on there, whether it be scents, apparel, seed, you can use the discount code RHOPOD, that's all caps, RHOPOD, and get 10% off of your entire order. Make sure you follow us wherever you're listening right now, whether that be Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. On YouTube, it's the subscribe button. And then leave us a review as well on Apple or Spotify, and then like and comment on YouTube. That stuff really helps us out. So without further ado, let's get into episode number 75 with Shawn Harrington and Phillip Heinz from Not Your Mother's Outdoor channel. This is the Ridge Hunter Outdoors podcast. What's up, everybody? We're here with Shawn Harrington and Phillip Heinz from Not Your Mother's Outdoor channel. I got that right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. How you guys doing?
No, pretty good.
Not
Cool,
too
man.
bad.
Cool, man. Not a bad drive down, just about an hour north of here, right?
About an hour.
Yep.
We always talk about how we're in Kansas, so we'll just go with you're an hour north of wherever we're at in Kansas. That way they don't try to come hunt our deer.
We talk about big bucks, it's always Kansas.
That's right. So let's start, Shawn. Like I was telling you guys before the podcast, before we got started, we always like on our first-time guests to talk about kind of like your upbringing in hunting, I guess. So, like, who got you started and when you got started, and was it some guys, well, we talked to one guy, I think he got to start hunting grouse, and, some guys at squirrels with their grandpa. Who kind of got you started into it?
Actually, my grandpa did.
Yeah?
My first deer I killed was youth season. I was 9 years old. It was hot.
Yeah?
Hot. I think it was 2010 or so. And by the time we got to the deer that got it, it was covered in flies. It was just that hot.
Yeah.
Youth season's like the second weekend in October, right? Yeah.
But he really got me into it, and just every year I just went down there for deer camp, which he actually lived just south of Olney a little bit.
Okay.
And they had a deer camp down there. It was him and a few buddies that he grew up with that started this deer camp, and the grandkids and everything would just went down there and hunted.
Yeah. Cool. So you started right in hunting deer then. That's
Yeah.
where you got your start. And with the shotgun, obviously, during youth season.
Yep.
When'd you pick up a bow and start that?
I picked up a bow when I was about 13.
Yeah. Do you remember what it was?
It was a Browning
Yeah.
youth model, and it only pulled, I think, 50 pounds.
Right.
Is all it was. And my first bow kill actually was in Johnson County.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was on like an 80-pound yearling or whatever. It wasn't very big at all. That was my first bow kill.
It doesn't matter when it's your first bow kill, right?
Yeah, it was definitely exciting. Set all weekend, last day right before we left to head home.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was.
Yeah. So you were you hooked on it after that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
for
sure.
For sure.
So you started bow hunting around 13 then. Were you still hunting with somebody at that point?
Yeah.
Most of the time?
Yeah. A lot of times I hunt with a whole bunch of people, and it was just the group aspect of it.
Like the camaraderie of it, yeah.
And hanging out with friends and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But anymore that, everybody's, grown up, got families now.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of on our own now, but
for
we
sure.
try to get together at least once a year and hunt. So
Yeah, cool. That's one thing that I wish we could do more of, or we could have done more of. Of course, he's got that building over there is actually a deer processing plant. So during hunting season, a lot of times we're busy cutting up deer.
Yeah.
So we can't get a whole weekend or something for deer camp. I mean, we still get out and go plenty, but I always like the aspect of doing the deer camp and hanging out with the guys. And even if you're not killing anything, you're coming back and, blowing smoke up to everybody's butt when you can get back to camp, right? Yeah.
Deer hunters don't do that.
No, sure.
They're about like fishing stories.
Pretty much.
Every time you tell.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
right. Bigger and better every year.
Yep.
So we'll stop there with you. Phillip, what about you? Where'd you get started?
Actually, it was with my uncle who took me to hunter safety course when I was in the 6th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have been about 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
And I started out pheasant hunting. I had a 410 over and under with a 22 on top.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that was exhilarating with a Brittany Spaniel.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
There's something about hunting with dogs.
Oh, yeah. It was an experience.
Good
out of
dogs.
this world. Yep.
I don't know if you've ever hunted with the bad dog.
Yeah.
There's something about that too, and it ain't the same.
No, the buckshot tells a different story.
Yeah. Anyway.
But then my uncles from Springfield took me deer hunting for the first time. I was in 6th grade for the first time. Had a 12 gauge with a red dot scope.
Mm-hmm.
Never got to shoot anything.
Yeah.
First couple years, and my uncles always killed.
Of course.
And that was the fun part of it. I didn't mind it. It was the camaraderie. We'd go and stay at Grandpa's house and have our own little deer camp.
Yep.
Then we finally got permission to park on the property, which was a lot closer to the woods we were hunting.
Uh-huh.
And they invited us over to deer camp, and throughout the years, I kept in touch with them. My uncles quit coming down here to hunt. Got into high school, had deer camp there.
Mm-hmm.
Just swapping stories, shooting the crap, and big old pots of chili. Oh,
Yeah.
deer camp chili is the best.
Yeah. Yep.
And then after that, I was probably about 15 when I got into bow hunting.
Yeah. What was your first bow? Do you remember?
PSE Nova.
PSE Nova.
Yep.
It's amazing how many guys' first bow is either a Browning or a PSE, or sometimes what was that Hoyt? Hoyt made like a.
Hoyt made a youth model. I used to sell archery back in the late '80s and all the way through the '90s, and yeah, they made a lot of 35 to 50 pound youth bows.
Mm-hmm.
Browning made a lot of them.
A lot of guys that we've asked that to shoot Browning seems like, or a lot of guys you talk to, that was like their first bow or a PSE.
Yeah, PSE made a ton of bows. They were pretty well available in that range, price range, and also the poundage range where youth could pull them back, because 40-pound minimum hunting, 35 was about where people tried to start.
Yep.
Okay, so same question for both of you. First buck, you remember it?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, you go first since we're still on you.
Mine was with a muzzleloader, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And
so was this during like muzzleloader only season back in the day?
No, this was second shotgun season.
Okay.
It was at 60 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I had no clue that I hit him because of the powder.
Oh, yeah.
The smoke. And it was
Yep.
like, man, I don't even know if I hit him.
I always got a kick out of those guys that do the hunting shows and stuff, and they have muzzleloader season, and the guy shoots and it's just a big cloud of smoke.
Yeah.
You're like, what happened? You have no idea.
Yep. So then I climbed down out of my climber that I got. I was 16 at the time, and I still use the same climber to this day.
Is it a Summit?
Nope, it's a River's Edge.
Okay, yeah.
It's a heavy climber. It's
Yeah.
all steel.
Steel.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's got an old steel Summit, before they made like the aluminum ones. But
Yep. And that's my trusty climber.
it'll dig into a tree though, won't
Oh
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
no questions asked, and I climb any tree I want. I don't have to worry about it sliding. Not
Right.
one
Climb a
bit.
shaggy
Yeah.
bark hickory, that thing, can't you?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
All day long.
Yeah.
And then so the neighbor heard me shoot where I parked my truck. He comes up on the four-wheel. He goes, "Did you get one?" I said, "I think I did. I seen him go over there." So he comes up, climbed down out of the climber, and he goes, "Well, let's see if we can find blood." Okay. So walked about 40 yards, finally found our first speck of blood. Ended up tracking him for about 45 yards, and that's where we found him bedded down. And he goes, "He's bedded down. He ain't dead. He ain't dead yet." I was like, "Well, shit. What do I do?" I was like, "Well," he goes, "You reloaded?" I said, "Yeah, I reloaded right after I shot, because I didn't really know.
Right.
It was the first time really truly hunting solo by myself,
Yeah.
without my uncles." And so he goes, "Well, wait till he stands up." So he took a step, and that buck stood up, and as soon as he stood up, he just keeled over.
Yeah.
So I got lucky with that, and he helped me bring it out, and that was the first time I ever field dressed a buck on my own.
Yeah.
That was the biggest excitement I ever had. But I tell you what, he might have been, I don't know, maybe an 8-inch spread in between.
Right. Yeah.
But
Don't
still,
matter.
my first buck.
You got the antler somewhere on the wall,
Yep,
or,
I got
buried
this,
somewhere?
It's a skull mount.
Yeah.
And it's actually on the wall of my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was exciting. And then I got my first big buck kill with a bow
Yeah.
2 years ago in
Is that right?
2020. And I shot him at 16 yards.
I can't beat
And
that.
he ran 60. And I got to watch him pile over. And I tell you what, that's the best feeling ever, to watch him pile over.
Yeah, that's the way you want it.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about, man, did I hit him good? Is he going to die? How soon is he going to die? Do I got to wait? You just, there he is, dead. I can go get him whenever I get down, you know? Yeah,
Yep.
that's the best way to do it. So, Shawn, what about your first buck?
My first buck actually was shot twice.
Okay.
I was hunting with my grandfather, and he was hunting just about 60 yards behind me.
Mhm.
Well, I heard him shoot, and we use walkie-talkies. So I called him, say, "You hit it?" "I don't know. Well, it wasn't 15, 20 minutes later, this buck come up from the side of me about where he shot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I shot it, dropped it. Well, I got down because I could see mine was just laying there. He wasn't
Right.
getting up,
Right.
I got down. We went over to see my grandfather, killed his, and we were going to blood trail it. Well, there was hair everywhere, and this, that, and the other. Very little blood though.
Mm-hmm.
So we load my deer up, and we take it back, hang it up in the shed, get ready to skin it out, and I lifted the leg up and got to looking, and right on the
hind quarter
there, it was missing all the hair, and it was just skint clean.
Is that right?
Yeah. And I said, well, I found your deer, you shot. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, it's missing all the hair off one leg. And it was a slice right down
just
the leg.
grazed him, huh?
All the hair was missing. That was the most memorable buck I've ever shot.
Oh, yeah. Usually the first one is, and that one's even more so. For sure.
But I haven't yet to kill one with a bow yet.
Is that right?
Yeah. I've only killed does with my bow, so I'm looking for that buck kill with a bow yet.
Yeah, that's, well, you can't beat it.
No.
Of course, you know that too, but, I mean, you can kill them with a gun, and that's awesome, and I like nothing against it at all, but there's just something different about shooting them with a bow, watching that arrow fly, and, even on does, it's just different. To me, anyway. Some guys probably don't think that, but.
Well, see, I like bow hunting a lot better than gun hunting because I like to close the distance. I like to see how close I can get them before I can shoot.
Right.
I have yet to really shoot any of my deer over 20 yards.
Is that right?
Everything's been within less than 20.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Because, you're not. Well, one deer that I shot last year was at 35. And this is one I'm pretty sure he died, but we didn't end up finding him. And at that distance, that's about as far as I want to shoot, is 35, and really 30 probably most of the time. But day before shotgun season, I'd watched this deer all season long on camera. Second time I'd seen him on the hoof. So he was there at 35, and I knew where he was going to come because a doe had come by before this, and he was on her trail. And I was kind of looking into the sun, but again, at 35 yards, even with the lighted knock, it's hard to tell where I hit him.
Yep.
If you can get him down in there 20 yards and in, you pretty much know if you hit him or you didn't, or you hit him good or not.
Yep, exactly.
That's the way. I mean, if you can do it that way, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of guys, I think there's certain guys, like I don't know if you guys know who John Dudley is or Cameron Haynes, big name bow hunters. Those guys are known for bow hunting, right? And that's what they do every day. That's their life. They just bow hunt. They're shooting deer at 60 yards with a bow, like it's nothing, like we would at 20.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, well, that's something. But I think there's a lot of guys who have a false confidence and will go out there and try to shoot deer at 50 or 60 yards with their bow. And they're either
shouldn't.
Exactly. Yeah. They're either missing all of them or they're wounding all of them,
Yep.
So I think it's probably better to err on the side of caution a lot of times or to be safe and not let your ego get in the way and just 30 yards are in, 25 yards are in, unless you're really comfortable and really practicing. But, yeah.
Most guys don't practice that much.
No.
A lot of guys don't put the time in to shoot 60 yards regularly.
Right.
And when I mean 60 yards, I mean not practicing.
And a lot of guys
at
don't
20.
have the room to practice that
That's
much.
a fact.
No.
Not practicing at 20 and then every once in a while sling an arrow out there at 60. Well, hell, I hit a pie plate. No, you probably still shouldn't be shooting at 60.
Right.
And it's different if you can shoot 60 consistently.
Exactly.
And get within a $50 size.
Right.
I mean, $50 at 60, you're doing something right.
Exactly.
And you're practicing that multiple times a week. You're shooting 3 to 4 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
The people that have the equipment to shoot a $50 size at 60 are few and far between, let alone the skill.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can have the
that's
skills
too.
and not have the equipment. A lot of guys don't have the equipment.
And it's a totally different. You got to have your setup right, and your arrow weights and your draw weights, and everything's got to be right. Because again, even at 35 yards, so much can go wrong.
Oh yeah,
and change.
Even just the slightest wind change can even knock your arrow off.
Nick a limb, or if you don't have your bow tuned up real good, that arrow starts doing funny things.
Or get one that's just a little off
Yep.
from the other ones.
Yep.
It doesn't take much. That's for sure.
For sure. So, when did you guys meet? And it was okay.
Sounds like a story.
We actually met through work.
Okay.
We're full-time welders, factory welders actually. And
first of all, good for you guys because we need more people that do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that there was kind of two of us guys training him, and we just kind of got to talking about different stuff. You're in the same area for 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. So you got to make friends or at least get along with people.
At least get along. Yeah.
So you try to make conversation. We just kind of got talking about deer hunting and everything else, and that's really how we met.
Yeah.
It's just really through work
Mm-hmm.
and just having a passion for hunting and everything, fishing. But
Yeah, just outdoors in general.
yeah,
Yeah. And like you said, it's just when you're with somebody for 10 hours a day, you got to try to find something in common. And then every now and then you find somebody who's got a lot in common, or at least a similar interest, you know, and then it works out. So how did you guys end up doing the Not Your Mother's Outdoor channel then from there?
Well, it was actually one day at work. Shawn came up. He goes,
Well, how long was it between when you guys first started kind of talking at work and then when you started it?
about a year.
About a year?
Yep,
Year,
because I
year
had
and a
just
half
hit my
or so,
1 year
yeah.
anniversary, and we started talking about it
Yeah.
because we started it in December. That was
Yeah.
right after my 1 year anniversary.
Okay.
Cool.
So now we're December, your 1 year anniversary. You guys are.
it was kind of more of a spur of the moment thing.
Yeah.
We were already in, December of bow season,
Mm-hmm.
shotgun season. We're coming into late deer season, basically.
Right.
I said, hey, I want to start an outdoor channel. Are you in? And he goes, what do you mean? And I said, well,
Right.
filming our hunts and, putting them on YouTube, and get back to, I'm tired of watching, big bucks being killed.
Right.
That's all you ever see.
Yep.
I said, that's not hunting to me. And he's like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
And that's,
Do something that's a little more, I guess, like common man kind of thing.
yeah. And
Yeah.
it's not just the hunting, the big bucks, but, frog gigging,
You're right.
and
Yep.
coon hunting and
Mm-hmm.
coyote hunting, stuff like that. It's everything hunting or fishing.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what we want to do.
Yep.
I mean, how many guys that are going to go out there and film a rabbit hunt, let
Right.
alone
Yeah.
a tree rat hunt?
Right.
I mean, I taught my son how to say tree rat, and teachers at school look at him, tree rat.
Yeah, they have
He
no
goes,
idea.
It's a squirrel.
Yeah.
Right. We call him tree rat.
Yeah. Looks like a rat and it lives in a tree.
Yeah.
Yep. And, I got into it with Shawn when he mentioned it, and I was like, yeah, I started taking my then 5-year-old, now he's 6, started taking him hunting with me, and I still got the first video that I took of him. First time I ever took him out in the deer blind, we had 2 young does come up about 35 yards. First time out in deer blind ever. He goes, Dad, there's deer right there. I said, no, just be still. Just watch them. Just see what they're going to do. He goes, Dad, they're getting closer. I was like, yeah, see, they're getting closer. Now they're about 20, 25 yards. He goes, Dad, you going to shoot? I said, no, I'm not going to shoot. He goes, why aren't you going to shoot? I said, because they need to grow a little bit bigger. He goes, why do they need to grow a little bit bigger? I said, so you get more meat, and so we can eat a little bit more because you like that jerky, bud.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
But after that, and once I told my son that we were starting an outdoor channel, my son's like, you mean I get to be on camera?
Yeah.
I said, yes, sir.
He's all about it, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then trying to come up with the name.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Kick around a lot of things.
yeah. Not to mention our welding table was our chalkboard.
Yeah.
We use soapstone all the time, and we
Right.
were writing stuff down, and we're like, man, we need something that's going to catch somebody's eye.
Right.
And we were throwing all kinds of stuff out.
Yeah.
I don't even remember them all.
It was writing something down, then going on, YouTube, Facebook, see if it was already used.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
Because there's so many people out there that's
Yep.
doing it.
Yeah, and it's not even necessarily that, but like you'll have someone that'll go out there and it's like they just on a whim decided they were going to start this YouTube channel and they posted like 1 2-minute video
Yeah.
and then that was it, but they've
Yeah.
still got that name taken, so or that
Yeah.
user or that handle, and you can't use it.
Yep.
And that's a lot of them. That's what we've seen.
Yeah.
is they got maybe 1, 2, 3 videos, and that's all they got. But they're 3, 4 years old.
Right.
So you don't want the same name as him. And then it was just something off the wall. You
Yeah.
know, a whole bunch of guys. Not Your Mother's Outdoor channel.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I always had the idea of basing it off of Bill Bates.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever watched him on Sunday mornings. I did.
I know the name. I don't guess I ever watched him much.
He was a fisherman, and like his outtakes and stuff, they were the funniest things
Yeah.
ever. And that's what I really wanted to do with
Right.
the hunting channel,
Right.
is because it's not all seriousness.
Something that's authentic and
Yeah.
genuine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the true aspect of hunting. I mean, like our first video we ever posted are the ones that got away. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
it's a miss. I mean, the other guy who's with us, Kevin Morris. Yeah, I mean, his first shot, he shot a hole through the blind, through the corner of the window, and missed it. And you know, that's something we can still come back on this day and still tell that story and still get a laugh about it. It's like
it's reality though, right?
It's not as produced. And there's a place for that, and I get that. There's guys that do it. We've talked to guys on the podcast that are more of a part of that more produced type of show and stuff they're doing. And like I said, there's a place for that, and that's fine. But I think like what you guys are talking about, you don't see as much of what you're trying to do, and I think that's good that you're trying to do it, and show that kind of stuff too, because people need to see that.
Yep.
I mean, it's great to see the big bucks and gets you excited about wanting to go out there and, okay, if I do these things, you can pick up things from those guys that are going to help you, right? But you also understand that maybe you don't have the budget or the time that those guys do.
Yep.
And it's all right to go out there and shoot a hole through your blind because somebody else is doing it. They might not be telling everybody, but they've done it.
Right. And I'm so glad they make camouflage duct tape, because that shit covers up them holes pretty good.
Yep.
But I mean, even with that, I mean, we're just trying to feed our family. I mean, the price of groceries just keep going up, and it's like, well, what are we gonna do? I mean, there's only so many weekends that we can hunt because we all work 5 days a week. I mean, right now, Kevin's out farming in the fields. He's finding his sheds. He don't get to go shed hunting, so he's finding them in the fields while he's tilling them up.
Hopefully he's not finding them with a tractor tire.
That's what I was going to say.
So far, he's found 3 good sheds, and it's looking pretty good. One of them is one of the properties that we hunt quite a bit, and they're really nice sheds. Some of the deer that we've been watching throughout the year, and they came off with 3-year-old bucks, and we're starting to kind of categorize what bucks are what and what bucks we've been seeing, if we got new ones coming, and that's what we're trying to get into and let them grow a little bit older before we start taking them. We want to take good mature deer.
Right. And that's just healthy for the herd overall too. You can get out there and shoot like if you're talking about needing meat for the freezer, you can get out there and shoot a doe or whatever. And if like there's guys again that the only opportunity they got, they're hunting one weekend out of the year and a little buck walks by, or even if that's just what they're looking for and they're happy with that, that's awesome, man.
Yep.
But if you're wanting to do like what you guys are talking about, shoot those does, fill the freezer with them and let those younger bucks walk, and then you got the best of both worlds.
Yep. Yeah. Which is what we pretty much done most of the year.
Yeah. We definitely didn't take any wall hangers this year.
Well, Kevin did. Kevin took a wall hanger this year.
Yeah, he shot a nice one.
Yeah, he shot about a 4.5, 5-year-old buck. Came in on him about 35 yards. Scared the crap out of him at first, because I remember him texting me about it, because we were hunting probably about 100 yards away from each other. He was hunting hillside acorn patch, and I was hunting the hayfield. Well, at that point in time, this was probably right before Christmas, I want to say.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, and we didn't get it on. We didn't get it on camera,
of course, right?
Right, and it's like, oh man, I wish we would have had the cameras in. And he shot him, and here I was trying to call in a turkey.
Yeah,
I mean, here it is deer season, and I'm starting to sweat in the stand. I was like, you know what? I hear turkeys gobbling in the distance. I'll just call in some turkeys. And as I'm calling turkeys in, he's texting me, he goes, dude, I got a buck, and he's coming in. He's coming in about 30, 35 yards. It's like, well, shit, shoot him.
Yeah, what are you telling me for?
What are you telling me?
Yeah.
I want to see the aftermath.
You're right.
And then after he
if
done
you
that,
kill him, I'll be able to see him. You don't have to text me about him.
Right? And he goes, I shot him, but I don't know if I hit him. I didn't even see my arrow, because my brother, I call him my brother. We've been friends for over 33 years.
Yeah.
Grew up with each other, and it's nice to share the same passion with him. And he goes, well, I shoot a crossbow. I didn't even really see it, because he shoots a raven, and with them ravens, you can't even see that bolt. Once you let go of that thing, it doesn't matter whether you got a lighted knock or not. You ain't seeing anything.
No. Especially in the day like that bright,
Yeah.
Unless it's just last light, maybe you catch that lighted knock, but even then.
Yep. So I climbed down out of the stand, going to go walk up there, and then I get a text from him. He goes, hey, I found blood. So he started walking. He found him about 100 yards away.
Yeah.
Not too far from the field edge, which made it great for me, because I'd just go get the side-by-side. Well, as I'm getting ready to climb down, I got a doe coming up. So we doubled up that day.
Yeah.
And I drew back on this big mature doe. And as soon as I let that arrow fly, that doe steps forward and a youngin steps in. And I was like, oh, I wasn't even counting on that shot.
Right.
Oh, I ended up tracking her for 1.5 miles.
Oh man.
And turned out that it ended up by the road. So that
Well, it
ended
worked
up
out.
kind of nice. Yeah.
Yep.
Only had to drag maybe 30 yards to
Right.
the road, but
You
it was
didn't have
still,
to drag her 1.5 miles at least.
Right. It was still uphill and downhill, but still.
Right. Yep.
It was worth it. Found my arrow and it's a good clean shot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, me and him's doubled up 2 times this year. We doubled up on the second day of opening weekend. I got a doe first, and then he ended up getting a doe that evening.
Mm-hmm.
So we doubled up this year, which is a rare occasion for him and me to double up.
Yeah, that's cool. So it sounds like you guys had a pretty good season then overall.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was this how many seasons have you been doing the YouTube channel now?
The first one.
The first
This is your
season.
first full season?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
cool.
Well,
It wasn't even a
quarter
full
season.
quarter season.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so this was like this past December.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
December
Cool.
of 22 is
Gotcha.
when we started it.
Gotcha.
And Shawn and I, we're diving into something we haven't really ever dived into. I mean, we're no expert turkey callers by no means. I mean, we're just trying. I don't even know how to work a box call, but today was pretty decent.
Yeah.
Man, I can't run them mouth calls. They just tickle the crap out of the
yeah,
roof of my.
yeah,
I cannot do it. Can't do it.
Fortunately for me, Nate goes with me and he can run a call pretty good. But yeah, you said you guys went this morning, so you got third season then.
Yeah.
I got third season too. So
Yeah, we
you got in some birds at least, maybe.
well, we heard them this morning.
That's half the battle anymore.
They were actually south of us up on top of the hill because we ended up walking through the bottoms and coming back up on top. We could see where they scratched up this morning. And we heard them, but yeah, we never could get them to come in.
Right.
Around here in Kansas, there's places the birds are a little thin right now.
Yeah, they can be. They're hard to find in
Yeah.
places.
Right around in our area. I don't know about up where you guys are from.
Well, actually, up where I've got 2 different groups of 50.
Yeah, that's good. You know,
that's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Used to we'd see that around here pretty often, and I mean there'd be groups of 100, 150 birds, that would stay in the fall.
Yeah.
And then of course they break up in the spring, but we just don't see that anymore. We got so many coons, and the bobcats are getting hard on the ones that do make it.
Nobody hunts coon. Nobody coon hunts anymore. The coyotes are going crazy, and the bobcats are population's growing. So all those predatory
Yeah.
creatures for the turkeys have really, I think, hurt them.
We when we got out this morning in the blind and started walking down around the bottoms, we actually seen a coon up on top of the hill. He was going up in his den tree this morning.
Yeah,
Hey, but we didn't call it a coon. I called it a trash panda.
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Yep.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, and the coyotes up by us, just unreal.
Yeah, they're thick too.
Yep.
I mean, a buddy of mine killed 80 something last year by himself.
Yeah.
Another guy we know well, Jeff's buddy kills probably over 100 every year
He's got those
by himself.
thermals and everything. He's into it big time.
Yeah, you guys do any of that too? Or gonna try to do any of it on the
well,
channel?
Well, we tried.
Yeah,
I bought an expensive thermal.
that's another. There's an art into calling coyotes too.
There is.
Yes.
Especially like the ones around here, they get called all the time. And
Yep.
get used to it, and you got to know what to do and when to do it.
But no, I bought a thermal for my gun and bought a call and stuff, which we got a lot of property up by us that we can get on and hunt coyotes because people want them gone. They got cows,
Sure.
and sheep,
Oh,
goats
yeah.
and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
They want them gone, so they don't mind if you hunt on them, or all you gotta do is ask.
Sure.
Yeah,
the
right.
way they know you're out there. But yeah, as far as like I don't know about down here, but up there we really don't have the bobcats like southern part does.
We're starting to see more all the time.
Are you?
Yeah, and I'm worried that, and I've said this on the podcast several times, that the state is not going to let us kill enough of them that they're going to end up being like coyotes eventually.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because right now it's the limited draw, and I think I know one guy that got a permit this year, and he ended up filling it. But the amount of pictures that I get of bobcats and seeing them on the stand,
The amount of people you talk to,
yeah,
not necessarily like, over at the shop where we process deer, the guys that bring in deer, not necessarily what they're reporting on the computer when they check it in, but what they're telling you. I think the state might be a little overprotective on the bobcat side.
Well, and that's something that if you are seeing them while you're hunting and you're doing your harvest reporting, you got to report them.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then the state, that's how they get their information.
Yeah.
And if they only see that 1 out of every 20 guys or something's reporting they've seen bobcats, when in reality 10 or 15 of them are, then that could be part of the issue too.
Which I mean, the guys that are filling out the harvest reports are the only guys that are harvesting something. What about the guys that
Exactly
harvesting anything? Where do they report to?
Yep,
you're right. They don't. You're right.
And then the only way that they're gonna report it is if they're hunting public land, because you have to fill out what all you see. Because good old state of Illinois, you got to have that window tag.
Oh yeah,
especially any park you hunt at.
Yep.
And they ask you all the questions. You see this or that. You see any bobcats, pigs, turkeys, and whatnot.
Yep.
I mean, back when the hogs first started coming in, it was crazy because we'd go hunting and we wouldn't see any deer, but yet we seen all kinds of hog sign.
Yeah.
And that was when they first started, and we were hunting bottom ground. And it was just all tore up. We didn't hardly harvest anything down there in that whole year.
Yep. So you guys got hog issues up there then?
Not as bad as what it first was.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people started taking them and not even reporting them, but that's on them. They're just trying to protect their crops, and I don't blame them.
I don't either.
You can go and get those.
You ever been around where hogs are? They will
stay.
There's not much more destructive than a hog.
Yep.
And they have such big groups of offspring.
Yeah.
When they have them.
At a time.
Yeah.
Twice a year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they can get out of hand quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really are. They can get out of hand quick. So we're fortunate we don't have that issue, but the bobcat thing is one that I could see being an issue at some point, but it sounds like you guys are saying you don't see a whole bunch of them up there yet?
No. When I was hunting in Johnson County 10 years ago or so, when I was young, it wasn't nothing to see 15 at night.
Yeah.
Just cruising the back roads,
Right.
I can only imagine what it is like now.
Yeah.
And I ain't been down there in 10 years.
Well, that's what, like I said, one guy that I knew got a permit this year, and all my buddies that call, because I put in for one, and said, hey, if you get that, let me know. I know where we can go kill one. Guaranteed we'll go kill a cat. Like, no problems at all. They know where to find them, and they're that easy to find and kill. Now, some guys, some places they are still a little harder to find, and you have trouble with them, and it's just like a coyote. You still got to call them and work them in. But you know where they're not that hard to find out where they're at, because everybody's seen them anymore, at least down here in this part of the world.
Yeah.
And they're getting hard on, that's what I say, they're getting kind of hard on the turkeys too. The younger ones that do make it, between them and the coyotes, So, are you guys going to do some turkey hunting content then for the YouTube channel? Is that the plan?
Yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely slow.
And that's only if the birds will cooperate with us instead of playing games with us. Right now it's birds 1 and not your mother's outdoor channel 0.
Yep.
Well, that happens.
Yeah.
So, question: you said something about fishing. Do you guys set any bank poles, or you just do bass fishing, or what kind of fishing do you do?
If you can catch it on a line and reel, we'll do her.
Yep.
Pretty much.
I didn't know if you guys set any bank poles out of your boats, or
we plan on going down to the Ohio this year.
Okay.
I got a buddy that lives within 10 miles of the Ohio, so we got a place to stay, and he's got a boat, and I've got a boat. So
there you go.
And we got about 100 bank poles between us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Canyon as well, and then another buddy of ours that does podcast, Jeff. We got a John boat, and we do a little bank poling here on the river close to us, and we don't do serious, but we have a lot of fun at it. Catch a few fish here and there.
Yeah. That's what it's all about, is the fun of it, because there ain't nothing better when you're running bank poles and you see that pole slapping water. Or you're coming up on your last pole and you're like, man, I know that pole's here somewhere. Then you go and turn around and aim the spotlight on it. Then you start seeing that pole and it's been underwater, and you pull up to it like, whoa, that's the biggest one I ever had on a pole.
Right.
Then you go and pull the line up and you got a 65-pound blue cat on it. It's like, I ain't never seen a big blue cat like that.
I think the biggest one we caught was we pulled up to the pole and it just lined still. It just laying on the bottom.
Yeah,
it looked like there wasn't anything even on it, And Jeff grabbed a hold of that. And there was something there.
Yeah, until you grabbed a hold of it, he'd wore himself out.
Yeah.
Them are the exciting ones right there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. We're not talking about like 50-pounders on this river or anything, but still good size
Yeah.
fish, Which I'm sure you guys run into that on the Ohio
Yeah.
fairly common.
I mean, I've never fished a big river. I mean, we fish down below Carlisle there on the Kaskaskia,
Yeah.
and I fished outside Vandalia on the Kaskaskia and run it. And that whole river's just like a big old long snake. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so
Yeah,
many
Kaskaskia's got. I'd say you got some decent catfish there. Don't
Oh
you?
yeah, yeah. They got some real good ones. I mean, the flats are a little harder to catch, harder to get because there ain't a whole lot of them, and there's just so much river for them.
Same thing. There's holes in the river we fish where you might run into some flatheads now and then, but it's mostly channel cat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Channel and blue cat.
Yeah.
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 So they say that flathead won't eat anything that's not live bait, which I'm obviously guys have proven that wrong. But like as far as we've never caught a flathead on anything except live bait. No cut bait, no nothing. They've never bit it for us. Which I know they do from time to time, but it does seem like they like the live bait better at least.
Yeah. We usually use 2-3 inch little bluegills.
Mm-hmm.
Best thing.
Yep.
Now
That's
you
what
guys
we've
just
had luck with.
catch them and then just keep them alive till you.
Yeah.
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 Usually shad net. Usually cast them out.
Right.
Catch them and
Yeah.
hook them up live.
Yeah.
You do it the easy way. Me and Kevin, we do it the hard way. We got this one pond and it's loaded with nothing but warmouths. I mean, loaded full with them. Throw them out there, catch them on little bitty hooks. They keep pushing that worm up the line. We just keep catching 'em.
Yep.
I mean, it ain't nothing for us to catch over 150 warmouths in about an hour and a half.
Right.
I mean, that pond's just loaded.
So you talk about gigging.
Yeah.
You gig frogs too, do you?
Oh, yeah.
You'd be surprised not many people do that anymore. We didn't get a chance to do that at all last year. We gig. Well, we're gonna gig some this year too. So that I enjoy frog legs. I enjoy gigging them.
I mean, frog legs are just like chickens of the water. I
I'm
mean,
telling you, better
better
than chicken.
I really like getting them live. I like
Catching them?
catching them live with my hand.
Yeah.
If I
I've
can
seen
get
some
close
guys doing
enough to
that.
'em
Yeah.
without having to gig them,
Right.
they last a whole lot longer. You don't have to worry about them stiffening up before you skin them. Or
Yeah.
nothing
Right,
like that,
right.
You know? But yeah, if I can get a hold of them with my hands, I'd rather do that.
You got like local farm ponds. You just like your
Yeah.
favorite
Yeah.
favorite fishing hole. You got your favorite gigging hole. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I mean, I've done it on the river. That's even more challenging.
Yeah,
on the
getting
I'd
the
say.
log jams.
Yep.
You
I
got
have-
orange.
Caught a few frogs on the river. I wouldn't say that I gigged them, but
Yeah.
that's a challenge as well.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
There's some big frogs there though if you can get into them.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. And Sean's talking about catching stuff with his hands. Our one of our sponsors, which is WTF Camo, which is Whitetail Forensics. We were there at the Iowa Classic, and Sean made the comment, "Well, we're going to prove how good this camo is. I'm going to try to catch a turkey by hand." So that's one of our goals for this season.
Catch a
is
turkey, huh?
Catch a turkey by hand.
There you
Yeah.
go. That'd
And
be a
if
good.
If we can do that.
That'd be good marketing for the old camo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, this camo pattern that we got is by far, it's different than anything I've ever used. And I tell you what, when we went and had pictures taken, that's when I became a full believer in it. I mean, when we first saw
Well,
it,
you couldn't
we
see it on
kinda-
the camera or what?
Well, no, you couldn't really tell our shape. We looked
Yeah.
like we blended in with the tree.
Yeah.
I mean, we looked like we were branches and everything. I mean, it is definitely off the wall, and it definitely breaks up your figure 100%.
The only thing I've ever seen that comes close to it is the old ASAC camo that was kind of popular for a while, and it was not big like nationally. I don't think it was kind of more of a local thing too. But yeah, it's definitely different. The WTF camo is for sure.
Yep, and it's a new company. I mean,
Yeah, I was thinking they were pretty new.
yeah, they just launched in 2021. I mean, they done the research, and they started their research in what 2016, 2017,
Yeah,
somewhere
something
around
like that.
there, and they done the science behind it. And as we all know, science never lies.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, a friend of mine wears that too. He's always tagging him on Facebook and stuff. I'll see him wearing his WTF camo. And yeah, it's definitely interesting. So, where are they out of?
They're out of Pennsylvania.
Is that right?
Yep.
Out of the mountains of Pennsylvania.
Yeah. We got a guy that's been on the podcast 4 or 5 times now. Steve Shirk's his name.
He
writes
for
North American Whitetail, and then he hunts out there in the mountains. He does public land guiding out in Pennsylvania in the mountains and all that. So those guys out there know how to hunt.
Oh yeah.
It ain't like us with fence rows and ag fields.
Yeah.
Like they know how to hunt.
Yeah. And what led Tim, which is the owner of Whitetail Forensics, is his brother told him. His brother's a diehard mountain hunter. I mean,
Yeah.
he goes, if this ain't comfy, if it's not quiet, I ain't gonna wear it.
Right.
Well, his brother's a firm believer on it, and his brother's killed all kinds of critters with it. I mean, and it's kind of funny. I can't wait to meet Tim's brother because he sounds like a hoot. He's one I would love to swap stories with and just hear.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to that day I get to meet Tim's brother.
That's a interesting thing too about the camo is there's so many good patterns anymore. You got to find something that either you believe in that works. You got to have confidence in it. It's got to be comfortable, and quiet's a big thing too. You want something that's quiet, especially if you're sneaking through the woods trying to get to a stand or doing spot and stalk or anything like that. And I would imagine out in the mountains, especially, like he's probably doing a lot of still hunting, walking through the woods and stuff too. So,
well, just like today, we took off to a different property, and we didn't have any descent on, and here we are walking and trying to do a little bit of calling, and we came up on deer that was less than 10 yards from us. We we weren't even looking for deer, and all of a sudden we see that white tail. I was like, Shawn, did you see that? He goes, yeah, that's not even 10 yards from us. And it seemed like all day, it just seemed like that's all we were seeing. We're chasing deer when we're trying to chase, we're trying to hear a gobble.
Yeah, now when you go deer hunting this fall, all you see is turkeys.
Yep.
So how'd you guys get hooked up with them?
Actually, I seen that camo for the first time at Lots Outdoors there in St. Peter. It's that is actually our archery shop.
Yeah.
And that's our hometown archery shop. And Shawn, Shawn Lots is a really great guy.
Yeah.
And he had that camo. I go, what the hell is that? I ain't never seen something like that. He goes, oh, that's a WTF. I was like, wait a minute. You mean what the?
Right.
And he's like, no, it don't stand for that. So I was like, well, it's kind of catchy. So after that, I told Shawn, I told Shawn about it, and we started looking into him. I was like, that's a different camo pattern. And so we sent Tim an email and told him what we were about, and Tim was hooked.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a call with him, and our call was only supposed to last, what, a half hour?
Yeah. Yeah, it ended up being like 2 hours long.
Yeah.
But we are Illinois field representatives.
Yeah.
For them, so
for the entire state.
Yeah.
There will not be any other WTF camo field representatives unless they are tied to Not Your Mother's Outdoor channel.
Yeah, that's cool, and it's good that they do that too. And a lot of that stuff is building relationships, and obviously it sounds like you guys hit it off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's pretty good when you go to the Iowa Classic and the owner of WTF Camo goes, well, if I don't buy your dinner, I'm going to have to send you a W-2.
Right.
So, kind of segue into that. What took you to Iowa Classic? Have you been there before? Is this your first year?
That was our first time going. First time ever going to any Classic. And for me, anyways.
Yeah, I haven't even been to ones up north or nothing like that. And it just so happened he was going to be there. We haven't met up yet, so why not?
Might as
it's
well.
only 6.5 hours.
It's a little vacation. Let's just go ahead.
Right.
You know,
that's kind of what last year was our first year up there, and that's kind of what I thought. Like, and we did that more to last year to promote the management consulting stuff, and then, I was just like, well, you got to put in for it and apply for it to be a vendor there. I think, well, I might as well see what happens, because that's like the mecca of whitetail shows, right? Like that's the one. That and the Dixie State Classic down in Alabama or Georgia or wherever it's at, and I thought, well, we'll just put in for it, see what happens. And sure enough, they said they had a booth space available for us, so we got in there. And then this year, they were nice enough to work with us and get us back in there. But as far as I'm concerned, we'll go up there every year that they'll let us, because it's just, it's an awesome show every year, and you meet cool people up there. Obviously, it's where we met you guys, and gosh, we had
occasionally they have a nice deer or two in that one.
We couldn't quite find our way to that room.
I think after we left you guys, it just kind of all went down to that.
You guys need to go to the Deer and Beer Fest too. Then
we are.
Are you?
Yeah, we'll be there.
We're gonna be there with Shawn Lots, our local archery shop.
Cool.
He's gonna be there.
Now, is he be there as a booth, or is he just going up there to enjoy this stuff?
No, he's going to be there as a booth.
Okay, cool.
It's Lots Outdoors.
All right.
and we're excited because I've never been there. I've always wanted to go. I've always heard about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, my sister lives in Bloomington now, so
There you
if
go.
we really need to, we got a place to crash.
Yeah, there you go. We went to that one last year for the first time as well, or this past August. And that's a good show for, like, because we do scents and stuff too. That was a good show for us to promote that because it's rolling into the season. It's hard for me to want to go try to sell scents in March.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
And then it's got to sit around till October or September. So anyway, that's why I went down there. I thought, well, it'd be a good show. It's about the biggest show closest to the season.
Yeah.
Right.
So I thought we'll go check that one out too, and it's called the Deer and Beer Fest. So I knew we would fit in, right?
Right.
Ta-da, ta-da.
Yeah,
It does go kind of
it does.
I mean,
So
what better way
What?
to attract people than
Why, Phillip, whatever do you mean?
exactly? I mean,
Yep.
come on. I mean, here we are, two guys from Timbuktu, and we're here
yeah,
at the Iowa Classic, and wouldn't you know, we run into somebody from the same state.
right.
Who would have ever thought
Within an hour.
Yeah.
Who would have thought it would have been over a PBR?
Exactly. Right. Yep. Yeah, we went up to the Deer and Beer Fest, and it was a really good show. Like, obviously it's not Iowa, and they had Friday was really busy, and Saturday till noon was really busy. But they had some stuff going on, like they had an auction last year, and they did some different things. But Cole Thompson's the one that runs that show. And he sent an email out to all the vendors, which I thought was real cool of him, where they're going to change some things this year. And, like, he took the constructive criticism from everybody,
Right.
and he's going to change things. I think it's going to be an even better show this year. So I'm looking forward to being back up there for that one. I think it'll be a good time.
I wasn't able to go last year, but I'm going to make plans to try to go this year.
And then we've got the guy we had on, which will have been last week's episode, Luke from Publicly Challenged podcast. You guys ought to check that one out too. He's got some good guests on there, and he's got a good show. But that's where I met him last year, which led to us having him on the show as well. So it's the same thing as Iowa. You get to meet new people and make connections with guys, and it is a smaller show too. So it's like you'll see some of the same people, quite a few of the same people you'll see at every other show, but you have more opportunity to talk to them.
Kind of
Yeah.
more
You know.
of a personal
For sure. Everybody's not so hammered with people all day long and busy, and you don't want to take away from them trying to meet their potential clients or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
So you don't want to bother them. You got to catch them either before or after. But this one's like you can walk around. There's some downtime in it, and you can walk around and meet people.
Which actually worked out great for us there in Iowa because we were walking around Saturday, and that's where we met this cool guy. His name is Bailey Smalls,
Okay.
Yeah.
and it was all over a kayak that looked like it was a kayak with a
It was-
layout blind,
Yeah.
and he told us, he goes, well, heck, I'll invite y'all come to Missouri and come duck hunting with us.
Heck yeah.
He goes, I ain't even going to charge you anything. All you got to do is get your tags and your license and come out, and we'll throw some beers down, take you out, hunt some ducks, and I'll let you know when the ducks are coming in and when they're flying. I was like, hell, that sounds like a great time. Just let us know. We'll
Heck
be
yeah.
there.
You can
right.
get a daily small game permit for Missouri, and it's like $14 or
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Yep.
That's the way to go on that. We're on not us, me and my uncle are on a lease, southeastern Missouri, and that's what I do. I'll go over there with them and hunt pits down there, and they got a lot more birds than we do in Illinois.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know if you guys duck hunt any or not.
We're actually going to be into that this year.
It's an expensive hobby, just like everything else in hunting.
Yeah,
but-
I done went and bought a new shotgun.
Yeah.
Well, new to me. I wouldn't say
Right.
it was new,
right.
but,
It's
Hey.
kind of like that first deer you shoot with the bow.
yeah.
Once you get that first good group locked in and they drop and they come right into the set and you
Yep.
knock it down about 6 of them, or you shoot 6 times and miss all of them, between the two of you.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, we do a lot more shooting than we do killing. But you'd just be hooked after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you guys would be the same way because, like you're into so many other things in the outdoors. It's just, I was hooked ever since the first one that came in like that.
Well, I'm real big on skeet shooting anyway.
Yeah.
So, trying to shoot a flying target.
Shoot them, get your skeet going left and
Yeah,
right.
get
'cause
left and right, yeah.
That's a whole different ball game than just
Yeah.
going away from you.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
I like hunting moving targets. So
Oh yeah, yep. So you guys gonna try to get that on the channel too?
Yep.
Is
Yep.
it sounds like the outdoor channel is aptly named because it's just pretty much everything, right?
yeah,
Yep.
it really is.
Was that the idea you guys had from the beginning, just to be everything outdoors?
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything outdoors.
And everything that we're gonna do, as far as whether we get a test product for the outdoors or whatever it is, something we're gonna use in the field, because we're, the blue collar guys, so we pinch our pennies for what we got.
Right.
So we gotta, if we get something, we're gonna test it. Or we're gonna make sure our money's going to the right place. So we're gonna use it and put it to the test.
Yep.
And put it to the max, because we want to stretch that dollar as far as we can.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
we got
not
a local
only
bait shop.
Yeah, not only hunting everything outdoors or fishing everything, if you can use it outdoors as far as hunting or fishing, we're gonna do it.
Right. Yep. We do the same thing too. Like the guys that we work with, I don't want to partner with anybody whose stuff that I'm not going to use, or that I haven't used already, and that that I don't like. I'm not going to partner with something like that, because we're telling other people to use this stuff, right? Just like your camo.
Yeah.
You're trying to sell it to other people. Why would you want to sell them something that you don't even like?
Exactly.
You're not even going to use.
You're putting your name behind that.
Exactly.
Your name, in our world, kind of means something.
It does. Yep.
It's just
It
not.
should.
Yeah.
That's all
should.
it is. Like, you guys are not your mother's outdoor channel. Like, that's your brand.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you put that brand behind some crappy product that doesn't work,
Then that's what they're going to think.
or
that
just
you
something
are
that's
as a
gimmicky,
person.
they're going to think, well, not your mother's outdoor channel. It's just some gimmick.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to do.
That's not what we want.
Right.
We want to, put our money where our mouth is, basically, and just really get back to the heart of everything.
Yeah.
Spending the American dollar on something that's worth it, and
Right.
feeding your family at the same time.
Especially if they're local. I mean, just like the bait and tackle shop we got, this is his first spring open. He does bass fishing tournaments and everything, and it's AJC bait and tackle out of Florida, Illinois. And I mean, he's younger than what we are, and he's just starting out, and that's what we like, because he's out there putting his stuff that he's selling, he's putting it to the test, and yet he's gambling on us to also put it to the test. I mean, we're not professional fishermen by no means. I mean,
but I'm gonna stick it in a tree and see how long it takes.
Exactly.
yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, we don't want to back anybody that's just going to sell something or promote anything that's junk.
They're just out to line their pockets. We're not out for that. We're out for people that's using it to survive, to make it their day-to-day means.
They're going to spend their hard-earned money on it. You want to make sure it's a good product for them.
Yep, and that's what we're looking for.
Yep.
And that's why we partnered up with Shawn Lotz there at Lotz Outdoors. He's a local bow shop. He's getting ready to hit his 1-year anniversary, and I've known Shawn for 2-3 years, and he's just a down to earth kind of guy. And you can go in there, walk in there, and he just wants to start shooting the shit with you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even about hunting; it's about what's going on with him personally.
Typical archer shop guy.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Well,
I run one for 20 years. I understand.
he'll also look at you and tell you you're kind of an idiot for buying a $200 leash, because it was a whole lot cheaper. Whole lot cheaper.
Yep. Sometimes they get you.
Oh, they do. Iowa Deer Classic definitely got me.
Yeah.
And how
That's
does
for
that
sure.
$200 release taste, Shawn?
It's still in the package. Let's just go with that.
That happens too. For sure. Yeah, that's, like I said, that's something we try to do is, and smaller guys. Grandpa Ray's is not necessarily a small outfit by any stretch of the imagination, but they were one of the first guys we started working with, because I'd used their stuff on client properties before planting it. And I mean, it's just always really good seed. You get your money's worth out of it, because it's not all filler like you get on the Walmart shelf.
Yeah.
He's just about having good seed. So that's kind of why I actually used him in the first place. And then when we did the podcast, kind of become a dealer for him, and it all just worked out. But like Rodney Hawkins, that's got a few things up in Florida, actually RHO Outdoors, and he's a land specialist with Midwest Farm and Land. So he's a guy that Nate kind of knew growing up, and we knew, and he was starting out as RHO Outdoors. And he's kind of wanting to put his Midwest Farm and Land out there a little more, so we decided we work with him. There's the Rack's Big Game Supplements. They're just a veteran-owned company that started doing supplement stuff, and I'm all about that too. Like, if I can help out a veteran company or veterans in any way, we're going to do that. We met a guy there at the Iowa show. Jack Missler was his name. He works with an outfit out in northern Missouri, northwestern Missouri, that Camp Valor Outdoors, I think it's called, and basically they do hunts for veterans.
I think I remember seeing that there.
Yep. So we donated some mineral to those guys helped them out, helped us out because we didn't have
Yeah.
to carry it all home.
Right? I mean, there's nothing better than helping somebody else out,
Exactly.
so you ain't got to load it back in the truck and
Exactly.
trailer.
But we're going to start working with those guys too, just because it's the same thing you guys are talking about, you know, working with good people. And
Yeah.
that's as much as anything. You want to work with good people.
Yep, because at the end of the day, we're putting our own personal name behind it, let alone our brand behind it.
Yep.
And to us, growing up, when we give somebody our word, that's our bond. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's better than gold and better than what paper money can buy.
Unfortunately, that's lost a lot in today's world.
Yeah,
but
it has.
You know, and a lot of small town America, that's still the case.
Yep.
You know, and we're the same way. And I think that what you guys are doing too is good because it is going to allow more people, you know, if you guys stay at it and put that stuff out there, it's going to allow more people to see what you guys are doing. And then they'll think, man, I like maybe not what they're doing on TV, you know, but I do like what these guys are doing, so I'm going to go try it. And then we get more people in the outdoors, we get more people hunting.
Yeah.
And then we've got more stroke when it comes to anything political
Yeah.
or legislation or anything like that.
Yep.
We got more people voting because there's, I forget what the numbers were from the last election, but there's something like 13 million hunters in the U.S., 13 million hunting licenses purchased or something like that. And there's an ungodly percentage of them that didn't vote, you know.
Yeah.
And the more people we can get,
Which is stupid.
Yeah.
and not just about like the normal political stuff you read about on the news, but like we've been talking about it on the podcast with the last couple guests at least. Trail cameras are being banned on public grounds now. A lot of them. Some of them you can't use cell cams. Some of them you can't use cameras at all. And eventually it's going to be private land too, you know, if we just let it go. That's where it's going.
Yeah.
It started out west, and we talked about it last year when it started. We
in
really
Missouri
started
now.
seeing it out there. And now
Kansas.
just come out with some legislation about it, and there's places in Missouri that you can't use it on public ground. And it's just going to keep getting worse. And that's why I think it's important what you guys are doing, because you're allowing just even more people that other avenue, more opportunity to see a way into the outdoors.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you know, I noticed it all started out around California and Utah, and if you actually kind of pay attention to the politics, whatever they do out there, Illinois kind of follows a couple of years later.
Funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if they're holding hands over there because they're a little special over there. That's the only place I know where they got happy cows.
That's right. Yeah.
But
I think there's something to be said for guys that wake up early and get their hands dirty, are tired, and need to take a shower at the end of the day.
Yep.
There's a group of us, and us, you guys are sitting here in the studio with us, and we all do that every day. There's a lot of people that do that, and so if you can bond with those people, and they're not watching nothing wrong with the TV shows, nothing wrong with the videos or the DVDs or any of that stuff, or the guys that are hunting that 1,000-acre farm that they got 2 or 3 people manicuring every day. We can't do that.
No.
I can't do that. You guys can't. I can tell you guys can't do that. There's nothing wrong with not being able to. But I think you have a chance to bond with folks like us that can't do that and that can do what you guys do, and that's it. You know, so be true to yourself, be true to your audience. You got that niche. I think you work towards that niche, just like Canyon is with his podcast. This is a Poor Boy podcast. I mean, nothing wrong with if you make tons of money, you want to listen to us. That's great.
right.
We want guys like you to get your hands dirty every day. We want you to listen to us on the way home, to get a shower, get cleaned up, take mom out to dinner, and have a cold beer and a steak or something.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Maybe pick up something to make you a better hunter, or make
Or
you
maybe
laugh.
just entertain the hell out of you on the way home on a Friday night if you had a bad week.
Who
you know?
couldn't go for, good old boys just telling it like it is, saying
Exactly.
it like it is.
Yeah.
I mean, as a hunter, you're never done learning.
No.
Every day's a new day.
If you think you've got it figured out, you're done.
Yep.
Yep.
Every day in the woods is a new day because nothing's ever the same in the woods. The same day of the week,
Right.
different day of the week. It doesn't matter. Things are going to change. Trees are going to fall. Deer's going to change their pattern. If a tree falls down on the trail, they're going to reroute their trail.
Mm-hmm.
And we use trail cameras, but you're still going to have feet on the ground. You're still going to have to scout your woods. You're still going to have to pay attention to everything.
Yep.
And whether or not, we got a couple farmers saying, "Hey, deer really done a number on my crop this year. This is, I'll let you hunt this if you can, get so many deer out of here because it's eating in my pocketbook."
Yep.
And they're trying to do that so that they ain't got to take out their fence rows, because once you take out the fence rows, you start losing your soil.
Yep.
I mean, there's only so many times you can till the soil and
Yep.
till it's not going to be there, and then we're going to be right back where we started over 100 years ago.
Yep. Yeah. I think, like I said earlier, there are places for the bigger guys that are doing that and the stuff that we necessarily can't do. And you can learn stuff from them. Like you guys were talking about going turkey hunting and kind of getting into that. What you were just saying about not being the same every day, I was actually listening to the Working Class guys, the Working Class Bow Hunter podcast.
Yeah.
They have a turkey series now with Mark Drury's helping them host it, and they were talking to Waddell about turkey hunting. And that's what those two guys were saying. And these are like some of the best, most renowned turkey hunters ever. Won world championships and stuff for calling like that, and they've been doing it for years. And they're talking about how those birds might be doing one thing they might do it 2 days in a row, and you call them, and you've got 10 birds gobbling all over the place, and they're just working, and you probably could kill 5 birds in that day. But then maybe you save a couple of them or whatever because you got somebody coming in, you want to kill one, or you don't have a permit for them. You go back in there the next season or even 2 days later, and they're just not working. The birds aren't talking. It's just different every day. And you got to learn that kind of stuff, like you're saying.
Well, it's like Wednesday evening. I went out, just see where the turkeys were at,
Yep.
And seen 3 of them, where they normally are. So, we put a blind up Thursday evening.
No, that was Thursday evening. Yep.
Put our blind up,
Tried
Friday
to put 'em
morning,
to bed.
we're gonna be we're gonna be where we need to be,
Right.
And they were on the south end of where we were.
Yep.
And 2 days prior to that, they were where they were gonna be. I knew that's where they were gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
And so it definitely threw us for a loop this morning.
Yeah, me and Nate went this morning, and we got set up, and it had broke daylight, and we heard one gobbling a long ways away. And I don't know what time it was getting. We'd sat there for a while. I mean, it was well into daylight. And Nate took his mask off, and we were kind of thinking, well, we're in the wrong spot today. And about the time he took his mask off, it wasn't, 20 seconds later, 2 hens pitched down into the field we were sitting in, and then one started gobbling. And he had already pitched down, too. He never made a noise on the roost.
Yeah.
So he throws his mask back on. We start calling out him a little bit. Tom come out of the woods, and he just couldn't quite see the decoys. Like if we'd have went 40 yards farther, and this is me being an inexperienced turkey hunter too, and not thinking about what they've done in the past, because sometimes will do the same thing, and that's the best you got. What you're talking about. You put them to bed. That's the best you can go off of.
Yeah.
You don't know what they're going to do tomorrow.
Right.
But if we'd have been 40 yards closer to where I knew they at least had roosted in the past, or if Nate had known that property better, which he can't do anything about that. It was a property that I got permission to hunt on. If one of us had one or the other, we could have killed that birdie to come out and saw the decoy and come right to us. But it's just 40 yards off a killing one, and between that and then watching him walk away.
Yeah.
But what you took away from the day was it was a learning experience.
Exactly. And we didn't mess him up or anything too bad. We couldn't find out where they went. We heard them. They messed around just over the break of the hill for, had to be an hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. And Nate decided he'd get up, so he got up behind this tree. Well, it turned out they were still only 150 yards away. So we crawled up to the edge of the cut cornfield, and he picked up the decoy, and we started looking at him. Well, we decided, we'll make a game plan. We'll go to the woods because it looks like that's the direction they're headed, right? And it's not downhill or anything, so they're not really going to see us, hopefully. So he's got that decoy up, and we start making our way to the north. Well, sure enough, one of the hens catches us and starts putting. And we look up, and now that Tom is probably 80 yards away. So he saw the decoy when we picked it up and started moving, at least we think, and probably was coming to us. But we got a little overzealous, and we're moving to the woods, so that hen caught us, and then he didn't know what to do, and ended up, we didn't mess him up too bad, so, I'm going to go in tomorrow, might have a good shot at killing him, because I think he's probably going to roost in the same spot. But there again, who knows? He may go roost way south of where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's kind of like at the end of the day, flip a quarter, what side is going to win.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's part of it. You got to be out there.
That's hunting, though.
It is,
and it's just the thrill and the learning experience of it. I mean, that's what me and Shawn look forward to, and even Kevin look forward to teaching our kids.
Yeah,
I mean, we each got kids. I mean, Shawn's got twin girls. I got a 6-year-old boy, and Kevin's got a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And
so he's old. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, no, I'm actually the oldest.
Well, you didn't have to say that.
I am the oldest one in the group, but Yeah, I mean, it's just the fun and the experience of it, teaching the kids how to hunt and teaching them the right way to hunt.
Right.
Not just go out and do that. It's just to help your family survive.
Because you can only watch so many YouTube videos before you have to go out and do it yourself.
Exactly.
To figure it out.
Yep.
Yep.
Because you can watch all those YouTube videos, listen to all those podcasts, and think, man, I got it figured out. And as sure as you go out there thinking that, something goes wrong, something changes, they do something you didn't expect.
Yep.
And, I'm still doing that. I've been deer hunting for, 15 years. And I still have that with deer hunting. But it's cool for me with this turkey hunting thing because last year I killed the first bird I ever killed. I went like twice, 2 hunts.
Wow.
So today would have been my third spring turkey hunt ever. And it's cool for me because I'm like that little kid that's still learning the turkey hunting game,
Yep.
And it's cool to have something like that, and it breaks up the monotony and it's something new you got to learn. You got to exercise your brain a little bit, and try to get out there and work on your woodsmanship and try to learn how to pick up a mouth call and use it like we were talking about,
Yeah, especially after that. Man, deer season's over with. What are we going to do with ourselves?
Exactly. You only can coyote hunt for a few months there after that. And
Yep.
Fishing ain't good yet.
No,
Right.
not
shed
quite.
hunting only goes so far for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Frog season ain't in till June.
Yep.
I mean, it's pretty exciting. I took my boy out crappie fishing, and he caught 2 of the biggest crappie, and they're probably the biggest crappie he's ever caught.
Yeah.
I mean, this is his second year crappie fishing. He caught 2.
I bet he wasn't excited at all, was he?
Oh, no. His pole didn't end up in the water at all. No. Dad didn't have to jump in after it, I promise. But, I mean, they each weighed about 2 pounds each. And this is a private pond that's out in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
You'd never would think you'd catch 2-pound crappie.
Yeah.
And when he reeled them in, you could. I wish I would have had a camera rolling, but I was too excited.
Right. Yeah.
It's like,
See, that's a good YouTube. That was a good YouTube right there. You missed
right?
it.
Yeah.
You missed it.
Yep, underprepared.
Yeah.
That's right.
But, I mean, spending, you want to put so much on YouTube or on Facebook or whatever, but it's like when we're with our kids. We're with our kids. We don't want to. We want to put them out there, but we want to keep our private life,
Yep.
Somewhat private.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. And there's even a thing to be said about, like, you go to a concert or a ball game or something, and everybody's got their phone out now.
Yeah.
Like, recording it. It's like, just live in the moment for a second.
Yeah.
Quit worrying about recording it so you can show everybody and just have the experience,
I mean, because somebody else is doing it for you. Just
Yeah.
wait until it's up online. You can watch it over again.
Exactly.
Many times.
Just live in the moment. And I think that's important, especially with your kids, and just being there and being present when that stuff's going on.
I remember
you guys
taking
can
him
do the
hunting.
filming stuff when you get out there with each other.
With ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember taking him hunting when he was a youngster, and it was a different mindset because always before, you're after that monster buck, or you're after a target buck, or whatever the case might be, and then all of a sudden here comes your son, and every time you pick your foot up, his is underneath it, and you think, okay, it's he's wanting to go. Well, I'm not going to tell him no, but I know I'm not going to kill a big buck when I take your 6-year-old son. It's not going to happen. No. There's just too much noise, or too much movement, too much everything. But that's okay. You have to have your mindset. That's okay. Yeah. And it's just like, it's okay not to film everything.
Yeah.
It's okay not to, okay, we're not after target bucks anymore. We're not after big bucks. We're after trying to get your son into the woods and understanding what that's all about.
Yep.
And then later, as time progresses, then that comes back.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a period in your lives where you're not going to be after that target buck, or you shouldn't be, because you should be with your son or your daughter or whatever the case might be, your twin girls, whatever the case might be, if they're interested in that.
Oh.
And if they're not, that's fine. My daughter was some, not as much as my son, but that's okay. When I was in the shop, running the archery shop, all the kids that were hunting, most of them got out of it and started chasing girls and drinking beer and doing all that, but almost all of them came back.
Yeah.
You can do both, I promise.
Been there.
You can do both.
Yeah, you can do both.
Some of them got way out of it, but it's you just have to have a different mindset. When that time comes, put that big buck and that video aside and be a dad, and then you'll move on from there.
Because video and all that and phones, they only last so long.
That's right.
Memories last forever.
That's right. And it kind of is on a level as what you guys are doing with your channel. 4 other people, like you said at the concert or the ball game or whatever, someone else is doing it for you.
Yeah.
You guys are kind of capturing that, like you guys will be capturing that in your deer camps and stuff like that when you're going, not just the hunt, not just the big buck, but the whole experience.
Yeah.
You know, you guys can capture that for your channel.
Yeah.
And that's good too, because everybody, like I said, everybody sees that and it's something different.
Yep.
Get the out of stand aspect of it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Right.
what
The whole experience.
yeah, is.
Yeah.
It's not just,
Way more to hunting than being in that stand.
yeah, it is.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's respect for the land and respect for the animals.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
That's the thing too, that you'll see all these, like the tree huggers and stuff that are so against hunting. What are they really doing for conservation or actually protecting the ground or making things better out there?
Right.
Nothing.
Nothing.
But we're the
Nothing at
ones that
all.
are doing that,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep.
I mean, you
And
know,
that's what we're about. And the good guys like you talking about that get the dirt on your hands and the calluses and stuff and working hard and you're going out there and enjoy it. You want your kids to be able to enjoy it, so you're going to take care of it for
Yeah.
them.
Yep.
yeah,
you know?
you're gonna, manage the herd.
Yeah.
know,
And the habitat and everything else.
Yeah, you're gonna try to keep it clean and
Yep.
uptight, and just keep it going for the kids and their
Yep.
kids. And
Yep.
Well, just like what we found out today, we went and hunted a patch of woods that was just recently logged.
yeah,
And like I told Shawn, I was like, this logger's got it right. Because, most loggers, they just leave the tops wherever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this was actually really strategic. We didn't see a whole lot of trash in the woods.
no,
And
It
it
was-
wasn't all over the place. And there was quite a few trees that were taken out.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was basically all laid out for habitat.
Yeah.
It wasn't just thrown
Right.
here and there.
You could tell they had some kind of plan with
Yeah,
it.
he knew that there was animals and
Mm-hmm.
rabbits, deer, whatever in this woods that were gonna be in this woods whether he was there or not. So he was preserving it for
Yep.
the next.
And it's just a
group.
different mindset,
Yep.
Yeah.
you know.
And in a way, we're all stewards of the land.
Yep.
Which is what,
Should be.
yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
That's how I grew up. I mean, I got a patch of woods that we hunt. I call it the logged woods. And the people that logged it 15 years ago, they didn't even have any care or respect. It's
Mm-hmm.
loaded with overgrowth. But I tell you what, in the long run, it actually paid off because now it's a deer oasis. They go
Yeah.
in there and
Yeah.
bed down.
Yep.
It's so thick you can't
Walk through it, right,
Yeah.
right.
But I tell you what, there's very little people that's going to try on trespass on me.
Yep,
And
exactly.
that's something I've had to deal with in the past is trespassers.
I mean
Mm-hmm.
nobody really likes walking through briars. I don't care who you are.
right.
Never.
Hell, deer don't even like walking
No.
around.
And most of the trespassers and stuff are lazy people anyway, you know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'd be doing something themselves for themselves.
Yeah.
You know, they're not gonna walk through that trash.
No.
I'm all for just putting barbed wire fence and briars around your property. That's going to keep a lot of people out.
Yeah, no doubt,
Yeah.
no doubt. There's guys that have issues with that too, and it's kind of the same thing. Like those guys aren't the ones that are poaching deer and trespassing and all that. They probably give us hunters a bad name sometimes, you know, and that's what the people that are those tree huggers or whatever have in their head.
Yeah.
Of that's what everybody's like, and it's not. And there's a gap there that needs to be bridged because it's kind of like anything else in the world. You watch the news, sure, they put it out like everybody's either way over here or way over here.
Yeah.
But most of us are in the middle somewhere. And it's you got to somehow bridge the gap between where we're at and where those people are at that think we're just dumb hillbillies, you know, out there shooting at everything that moves.
Yeah.
Right?
We're the hillbillies that are feeding our bellies while we're not
Exactly.
breaking our wallet to go to the grocery store to
Exactly.
buy some beef.
Well-
That's all jacked up on whatever.
And they don't understand that.
No.
And we don't understand what they do all the time, you know. And it's just, but there's no communication, and there's not a good way to do it other than the social media stuff, the YouTube stuff like that. And if they can see guys like you guys that are just down to earth dudes out there hunting, you know, and doing it for the love of it, that's a way that gap can be bridged, and then that's even more people that are going to be on our side.
Yeah.
you
and
know.
that's what I love about when we went to the Classic. I'd never been there. And you know what? I didn't meet a stranger there.
Yeah.
I'd walk up to people just walking by the booth. Hey, you want to see what this camel looks like? You want to see some pictures of what it looks like in a tree? I mean, you know,
Oh, yeah.
I was proud of it.
And everybody did, right?
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
There was very few people that said no.
that's what they're there for, and that's
Something to
they're
be
all
said for
like-minded.
like-minded people.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when you get us all, I never met, you know, before Iowa Classic, we never met, but we're all like-minded people.
Yep.
And when you take thousands of like-minded people like what's up there.
And
And
you put
it's
us all
pretty cool
together in a
experience,
building.
right?
Yep.
There's going to be some miracles happen somewhere, somehow, somewhere.
It's
And
a
that's
neat
not
experience.
it's
to be
not
around.
like-minded to say everybody thinks exactly the same way, because you got to have like diversity of thought, right?
Right.
But I think everybody is on the same page as far as the stewardship stuff and the conservation stuff and being there for the love of doing it and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know, like
Otherwise,
you're
they wouldn't
talking
be
about.
there.
Exactly.
That's what I mean by like-minded. I don't
Yeah,
mean we're
that's
all
what I'm saying.
robots or anything.
Yeah, right. But then, I think he made that comment about maybe it was-
Like-minded people, as in if somebody shows up with a gun and starts shooting, people are going to shoot back.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
right. And I think you had mentioned that last year after we got back from the Classic, that it was just all the people are there for the same reason, and you don't meet a stranger, and you can go talk to them, and because we all have that thing in common, kind of like when you guys met there at work, is you have that common ground,
Yeah.
and
Have something to
you can talk with everybody up there.
Just walk up to him and start talking to him like you've been
Exactly,
friends forever.
and they know
you
what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yep.
And if they don't, you can explain it to them, and they can figure it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I
That's
mean, different parts call it different things. You
yeah,
know?
for sure. Everybody's got their own words for everything.
Yeah.
Yep. The guys from Louisiana that will have come up here that we work for, that bring deer up here. Sometimes you can't even understand what they're saying, but once you talk to them long enough, though, you kind of start to figure it out.
Start putting.
We all like to
pieces
hunt.
together.
That's the main thing, right?
Yeah, you can start figuring it out, and then even those guys from like Wisconsin and stuff like that, they got different words for stuff,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
like we all
Accents
got
run a
that
little
common
heavy.
ground. Yeah, we all got that common ground, and we can figure it out.
I mean, Shawn, Kevin, and I, we got some good things in the work for this year. I mean, we got some broadheads at this company they're restructuring, and they said, why don't you guys just destroy the hell out of them?
Yeah,
So guess what we're going to do? We're going to destroy the hell
Imagine.
out of the broadheads.
yeah,
Gladly give us some free broadheads. I'm going to put them to the test. I'm going to shoot them through whatever I want.
absolutely.
Anything from bone to cinder blocks to a 55-gallon drum to even some
304
304 steel, stainless steel. We're going to shoot it through that.
Got to put them to the test,
Well, yeah.
right?
I want to know what these things are.
I mean,
gonna
they
go through.
they're a small company and they were honest. They said shoot them.
Yeah,
You know,
because they
tell us-
want to know,
tell
right?
us what you think
Sure.
of them, and destroy them.
Yep.
See what it takes.
And
So,
that goes back to what we were talking about earlier with the good working with the good people. You know that they're trying to make a good product.
Yeah.
They're telling you to go out there and just do your worst.
yeah,
Yep.
That's what they're wanting.
I mean, it's hard to find even good arrows nowadays that you're not spending over
Oh yeah,
$40 for a single arrow.
$200.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, but still, you got old arrows that you're trying to use up, and arrows you ain't ever heard of before.
I detect a story there.
Well, kind of let the bow shop talk me into trying some arrows. I went ahead and rolled the dice and tried them. I never shot micro diameter arrows before.
Uh-huh.
You know what?
Did they
Once in a
fall out
while-
of your quiver?
I don't know. I ain't never tried them.
Oh, okay.
That is.
I'm still waiting for them. Hopefully, I'll be able to answer that question next week.
Yep.
No, since I was a little kid, I've always been told I mess up an anvil with a rubber hammer. So
right.
if I get a hold of it, I can tear it out
Yeah.
pretty much. So,
Yep. If they need something tore up, you guys to go to.
Yeah,
Yep.
pretty much.
Yep. And that's good too for those guys. They need somebody like that.
Yeah,
And it's going to be honest with them.
yeah.
Because
I mean, whether I do it or somebody else does it, somebody's going to spend their money on it.
yeah,
Their hard-earned money on it,
Sure.
and we all know that's getting slimmer and slimmer every day.
Mhm. yeah.
So
No doubt. No doubt.
Well, take those partnerships seriously, and when I first got into the archery shop, we were in the late '90s or late '80s, early '90s, and we went to the ATA show, which was just got started back then. And I'm not going to do any name dropping, but some of the biggest names in the industry that you guys have ever heard of,
That was kind of a name drop.
I know those guys, and they're doing the same things that what you guys are talking about now. They were just getting started. They were talking about, hey, try my product. I want you to do this. I want you to tear it up. I want those kind of things there. So you never know when you're going to make that hook with a good product, somebody that's got a good product and a good background, and they're going to take off, and you guys are going to make good products together, and that's the way that thing works.
Yeah, because I want something that, I want to use for not just this season, but a season or two after that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't have the money to go and keep buying new product every season.
Right.
And, I mean, the arrows I got now I've had for 3 years, and they're still shooting good. I mean, yeah, I might have to refletch them,
Mm-hmm.
but in the end, I've learned how to fletch my own arrows, so that saves a little bit of cost.
There you go. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I don't want to take up too much more of you guys' time, so we'll let you get out here, get on the road, head back north.
I got one thing
All
I
right,
want
go
to say.
for it.
So, you guys pull up, and I'm expecting not your what's the name of these guys?
Not your mother's outdoor.
Not your
channel.
mother's outdoor channel.
Not gonna lie, if you just heard that, you're probably picturing 4x4 truck with at least a
You're getting
3-inch
ahead of me
lift.
here. You're getting away. These guys pull up in a freaking smart car. Please God, tell me that you got a jacked up Ford 4x4 with stacks and you're rolling coal. I mean, just tell me that, please.
I own a Dodge Cummins.
Hallelujah.
well,
That's
that's
got a
fine.
Cummins. That's a start.
But I do also
Second gen, third gen, what are we talking?
Second gen.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I've got a first gen gasser, so
Well,
it's yeah.
it's better than a smart car.
Thank you, Lord.
I'm just kidding.
Here's the bad part. That's actually my mom and dad's smart car.
Yeah?
I've got a smart car myself.
Yeah.
But I mean, at 47 miles a gallon.
Hey, guys, got to save money on gas right now.
I'm just saying that's not what I expected when it's not your mother. But hey, that's okay.
Hey, you know what? We might surprise you. We might have to strap a deer to the roof of it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it or not, we had a deer come in this year on a Tesla pulling a trailer.
Yeah.
The guy does live in California. I'm telling you the truth. He lives in California. He comes out there and hunts with his son, but he owns a Tesla, and we did have a deer on a Tesla. It made the local radio because they had never seen it either.
yeah.
The radio
You know,
station.
that's
You're not
something
going to believe
special.
what I saw today. You know?
Yeah.
Too bad the local paper didn't get a picture of it.
No
That would have made Illinois news.
It
Right
would
there.
Well, you've eased my mind just a little bit. Okay.
So, where can people find you guys? Obviously, the YouTube channel, any social media or anything like that. Give us where you guys are at, so everybody can go find you. And I'll link it in the description too, so everybody can go there.
We got a YouTube channel, Facebook.
And
And
we
is-
got TikTok that
Is the
we're just-
Facebook? Is it all under the same
It's
name?
all under the same name.
Not your mother's outdoor
your
channel. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
And our TikTok's the same way. There's nothing really posted on it. Of course, we just got that on our way back from Iowa.
Yeah.
And so we're hoping to get some content on that here real soon. I mean, neither one of we're not all that great with technology, but
I hear you.
Take three guys that really don't do technology. And I, being the youngest one, have the most technology.
You're tech savviest.
Yeah.
If that's a word,
At
right?
best, but
Yeah.
we do what we can.
Hey, that's learning
know.
every day too, ain't it? Yep. That's something new for sure. And figuring out the game on all the social media stuff
Yeah,
too.
and
That's something in its own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a fun game. Not a lot of people like to play. And
Most people don't play well with that game either.
No,
No.
they really don't. That is a conversation for another day. I really do appreciate you guys coming in, though, making the drive down. I'm glad we hooked up with you in Iowa there and met you guys, and we're able to get you guys on. And we'll do it again sometime for
Yeah,
sure.
thanks for coming in the studio. Really
Yep.
appreciate it.
yes,
That's
thank
cool.
you.
Yeah.
It's been a blast.
Yep. All right. See you guys.
See ya.